guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back if you are new. My name is Hetty and I post videos every single Sunday, all in relation to eating disorders, health, fitness, lifestyle, travel, all of those fun things. And today's video, I thought I would do a kind of sit down video again because I'm quite liking these at the moment, and talking about the topic of going all in, which I'm sure if you've clicked on this video, you know that kind of term. It's been thrown around quite a lot in mainstream media, on social media, you know, Instagram and things like that. And if you're not quite sure on what it is and you've just clicked on this video, then if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. So if you don't know what going all in means, I do have a video that kind of explains it a little bit, and I will post it down below as well. But basically, in summary, a YouTuber and influencer called Stephanie Buttermore, she is a fitness influencer and has been sort of in the mainstream media of fitness influencers, and she went on a journey from last June, I believe, and she sort of documented her whole process on. Basically, she went from being super lean, and I think she beforehand she followed an intermittent fasting protocol with her nutrition and her diet. So she was very strict with what she ate. I think she even tracked calories for the most part and tried to keep within a certain number. And she kind of came out and said that she'd not been feeling great in terms of her physical health. So she'd suffered with losing her period, which is quite a common thing for a lot of women who get down super lean. And that's something that I've also had in the past, of losing my period. And she also went on to explain that she was just feeling really obsessed with food, and she was finding herself overthinking about food all the time and wanting to eat a lot of food. And so she went on this journey of going all in and basically just giving herself full permission to eat however much she wanted, which that sounds crazy just off the bat. Like, why on earth would you do that? You know, you're going to gain loads of weight. And I honestly think the whole Stephanie Buttermore all-in movement has been so needed for the fitness industry. Like, I think it's been so refreshing to see such a sort of positive effect on other people, because I think a lot of people, and myself included, has sort of been through these really difficult psychological mental battles with food and their bodies, and almost thinking like it's a normal thing. And that's something that I really admire from Stephanie Buttermore, and she even admitted that she thought that this is just how it had to be, that in order to, you know, be a certain way, that's, you know, feeling that hungry all the time was just a normal thing, and it was something that she was going to have to live with. And I think now that people are speaking up about it, it's helping those that are maybe struggling with that and have been struggling with it for a long time, who have felt alone in that sort of space. It's now helping those people to realise that it is a normal thing. It is a normal reaction to restriction, how your body's sort of reacting to it. And I think more than anything, it's giving people the permission that we all kind of need, that we've all ignored for so long, but it's given us the permission to eat and to feel satisfied. And I honestly think that's something that we as a society have been led by, you know, diet culture, or by certain industries, that we shouldn't eat to satiety, which blows my mind really. But it's something that we've just learned through society and through upbringing, that, you know, we have to, in some way, shape or form, have some kind of restriction on the food that we eat. And you know, I've posted videos about intuitive eating, which I will link down below if you're interested, but I've definitely been through periods of time where I've, you know, been so focused on counting and tracking my calories, my macros, and it really just took over my mind, in all honesty. And the back of my mind was kind of thinking through all of that, like, there's got to be a better way. Like, it's not fun. And comment down below if you agree with that. And I'm not saying that everyone here watching this video is going to agree with my thoughts on this. And I will just put out a disclaimer that, you know, I'm not a registered dietitian, so I'm not in any way, shape or form promoting, you know, doing an all-in approach. I'm just here to just share my message and my experience with this. I have had 2 periods of time when I have gone all in, so I wanted to share that with you guys. And if anyone out there is sort of wondering whether that approach is for them, I want to show my experience and kind of help you guys to maybe understand what kind of to expect, I guess. So, as I mentioned, going all in is basically just giving yourself full permission to eat as much and whenever, however much you want. So that doesn't mean, you know, you're binging 24/7. Binging is a whole different ball game. I will link a video down below if you are interested in, you know, the science behind how binge eating is caused and that sort of thing. I will link that down below, but we're not sort of referring to that for this video. But if you have, which I'm sure if you're watching this video, if you have restricted your food intake, so either by dieting or, you know, eating disorders in any way, you've somehow put a restriction on your food. So you have given yourself either rules or time frames or whatever to eat a certain way that isn't, you know, an intuitive. When I say intuitive, I mean a body approach. So what your body is asking for, it's more sort of mental, so either you tracking your calories or whatever. And when you have restricted yourself, I would say for a long time, not always, some people might do it straight off the bat and think this is not for me, but when you've done that for so long, it gets so mentally and physically draining. And I'm speaking from experience because I spent majority of my life attached to MyFitnessPal, tracking every single gram of food, and that was so mentally taxing. So I sort of got to a point. I did also mention that I've gone all in twice, which I have. The first time I wasn't even aware of what actually all in was, so I'm kind of gonna disregard that for now. Plus it was quite a long time ago, so I want to share my experience with my most recent period of time of going all in and allowing myself to eat to full satiety in all the foods that I've sort of been craving. Like I said, I'd been attached to MyFitnessPal for a long time and always trying to achieve weight loss in some way, shape or form, and it got to a point where I just was sick of it, if I'm being honest. And I thought, do you know what? I'm willing to see where my body ends up and see what happens, basically. You know, is my weight going to shoot up and up forever, or is it going to sort of stabilise? And I also wanted to figure out and find out what would happen to my hunger levels as well, because prior to this, I was thinking about food all the time. I was obsessing over food and, you know, just thinking about that next meal, you know, obsessing over calories and that sort of thing. And for me, a big goal was to just live in the moment, in all honesty, being able to go out to eat with my friends without worrying about, oh God, well, how many calories is that going to be in? And can we go to a restaurant where there's calories on the menu and all of this? So I kind of got to that place where I thought, do you know what? There's so many people out there that I admire and they just eat intuitively. So I'm going to try this out. And like I said as well, Stephanie Buttermore was such a huge inspiration to me as well. I sort of did it alongside her in a sense. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of scary and weird at first that you can, I had no tactics, if I'm being honest. I had no tactics at all, and I just kind of, you know, craved a lot of sugary foods, which I think is totally normal, especially after you've restricted for so long. But I did crave a hell of a lot of sugary foods, which I allowed myself to have. However, there got to a point when I didn't feel great, meaning I think intuitively I didn't feel my best. I didn't feel healthy, and it wasn't really how I wanted to feel. So I guess in that sense, by allowing myself to eat those sugary foods whenever and wherever I wanted, it kind of helped me sort of develop this more health approach, or this health focused approach. Like I said, I think it was needed for me to be able to just fully let go of all the restriction and just honestly just allow myself to eat the foods that I wanted. But like I said, with that, it came with almost a lot of confusion, because part of me was thinking, this is so bad, like, why am I doing this? Why am I choosing to eat, you know, sugary foods and all of this? But the other part of me felt like this is what I needed. I just needed to allow myself to eat those foods and to kind of realise that and come to this place of food being neutral. For me, that was a big goal, because before then, food was never neutral. It was always sort of my main focus, you know, in the day. It was like planning my meals and thinking how can I fit this within my calories for the day, and etc. So for around 3 months of that time, I gained quite a significant amount of weight. I'm not going to say how much I weigh, but I think I probably gained around how much weight? I think it might have been a month. I will just make another disclaimer that what happens to me might not actually happen to you. And I know for what happened to Stephanie Buttermore was quite a lot different. So I gained 8 pounds within a month or two of just fully allowing myself to eat whatever I wanted. Now, around 2 months in, I would say I got to a place where food became neutral. So I got to that place where I wasn't thinking about food all the time, and that I wasn't obsessing over food. And during this point, I think it took maybe another month or two, so 3 or 4 months in total, to see my weight sort of stabilise. So at that point it did go down, I think, a pound or two, and it's kind of just been sitting there ever since. So, and I still eat intuitively, and my whole mindset on food has changed a whole lot. I don't feel obsessed around food. I don't feel that, you know, I need to have sweets every single day, whereas before it was like I was just craving sweet things all the time. Whereas now I don't even think about it. Most of the time now, so most of my days, I try and make sure that I get a lot of veggies in, a lot of carbs, and a lot of protein as well. So just sort of keep it very balanced. Whereas before it was very much like I just wanted processed foods, or I just wanted, you know, sugary foods and that sort of thing. So my mindset on food has changed an awful lot. And I think if you are somebody that is struggling more mentally, and I think that was my sort of struggle, because if you looked at me prior to this, I didn't look like I was experiencing an eating disorder. And I will also mention that I wasn't experiencing an eating disorder during this time, but it was just very much a mental battle. And I think that if you are feeling that same way, that you are feeling very food focused and you're wondering what's wrong with you and is this normal, you don't have to be a certain weight to have struggled with restriction or having the effects of restriction. I think this is another thing where we see in society that and the media especially, that in order to do this, we need to be really, really thin to be able to do all in. And I wouldn't say that that is true. I think if you are somehow restricting your food intake to a significant amount, your body is asking for it, because it's showing those physical signs that it's having you think about food even more than what is probably normal for you. You're obsessing around food, and I think they are all mental signs of you experiencing extreme hunger. And if you're not sure about what extreme hunger is, I will link my video down below on my experience with extreme hunger in my eating disorder. But yeah, I guess for me, it was like I needed it mentally more than anything. It was almost like I came to a point where I almost like accepted, like, if I gain weight, I gain weight, but I want to just feel normal, and I want to just let go of all of this mental chatter that was going off in my mind 24/7. Like I said, you don't have to be a certain size to struggle with that. You could be at your healthy weight already. And I think for me, it was about really just letting go and figuring out where my body wanted to be. And I guess, I mean, this could change where my body is right now, but this seems to be sort of my stable weight, which I can maintain effortlessly with just eating intuitively. And I know all the questions are going to be about, did you lose weight? How much weight did you lose? And that sort of thing, because I know that we're so focused on losing weight. Me personally, I think if you are wanting to go all in, weight loss has kind of got to sit in the back seat for a second. And I think how you want to feel mentally is got to come first. And then if you want to achieve weight loss further down the line, I wouldn't say that that is impossible. I personally believe that you are able to get to your sort of ideal body weight that's going to be comfortable and confident, that you're going to feel confident with, as well as also eating in a way that feels good without severe restriction. But I think in order to get to that place, I think really the mental shift needs to happen first. So I'm next just going to talk about, should you go all in? So is this for you? Is it a good idea if you are struggling with this? Now, like I said, I'm not a registered dietitian. If you are struggling with an eating disorder, I would recommend, obviously, seeking out help from a professional. But like I said, I also think it's good that, we can all share stories and share insights and things. So for me, going back, I probably wouldn't do it so aggressively. And that's not because, I gained so much weight and I was, that's what I regret the most. But I guess for me, I got to a place where I didn't feel so healthy. I felt like I was eating a lot of sugar and it didn't feel healthy. I personally think there's two routes or two roads to go down. It's like if you've got a destination, you can either go by train or you can go by car. The car is going to get you quicker because you're driving the car, or you can take the public transport and it might just take a little bit longer. So for me, I guess I just wanted to get there quicker. I just wanted food to become neutral. I wanted this sort of mental chatter to be over with and done with. And I chose to go all in because I thought, this is really the only way that I'm going to get over this. So, like I said, going all in meant that I could eat whatever and whenever I wanted, which obviously, again, meant eating a lot of like sugary foods, all those foods that I restricted previously. However, I think there are other routes to go down if you're wanting to get to a place where you're either settling at your body's natural set point weight, or you're taking a route of you're wanting to get to that place of just food being neutral and being able to eat more intuitively. I think the other routes that you could go down is sort of using somewhat of the all-in approach, so allowing yourself all foods but giving yourself a little bit more structure. Maybe telling yourself, and I'm not saying that this is what you would do, but maybe you could give yourself some structure on maybe having 3 solid meals a day, or having a savoury at each meal and then also a sweet, so 1 sweet, and you can have whatever you want for that sweet, rather than thinking like, right, I'm just gonna eat cookies for breakfast, ice cream for dinner. Like I said, going back, I would probably do the more structured approach. I didn't really think logically on that, but I think you can still get to that place of food being neutral but with a more structured approach. So I guess if you are in this place where you are thinking about food all the time and you're feeling like you're a bottomless pit, like you could just eat and never feel satisfied, ask yourself honestly, like, what approach feels best for me? Not in a place of fear, like, because your mind will always say, well, don't do the all-in approach because you're going to blow up like a balloon and you're going to blow up into obesity, which won't happen, by the way. Ask yourself what feels right for you. And maybe it might be that you try the all-in approach and you get halfway down the line and you think, do you know what, I think I need a bit of structure. But maybe it's just, if you are feeling so obsessed right now with food and you're feeling like you're just hungry all the time, maybe going all in to some extent might be what you need. But again, you know your body best, and I think everyone sort of intuitively knows. For me, it just felt right, and I just felt like I was so done with the restriction and the mental chatter. And I will also point out as well, have somewhat of a goal in mind of how you want your relationship with food to look like. So that was something that I tried to hold on quite dearly. So even through the difficult times of, you know, when I was thinking, you know, should I go back to a diet? I've gained weight, this isn't healthy. I focused on how I wanted to feel and how I wanted my relationship with food to be like. So I would tell myself, you know, what's that version of me like? What does she eat? And for me, it's somebody that eats mostly whole foods, with also some, you know, tasty foods thrown in there as well, you know, chocolate and pizza and things like that. But majority of my foods are going to be coming from whole foods. And for me, that's something that's quite important. I don't feel good when I eat a lot of processed foods, and definitely not a lot of sugary foods as well. It just, for me, it doesn't feel great in my body, but everybody is different. So I would say that, so have a vision in mind and journal about it. You know, ask yourself questions, you know, what's this version of me like? What does she eat? What does she don't eat? What doesn't she eat? And, you know, how often does she exercise? What kind of exercises does she do? And do it from a place of how you want your life to look like, as opposed to, you know, well, I want to get a 6-pack, so, you know, I can't do this if I want a 6-pack. Think of it more how you want to feel day to day. And like I said, I will probably do another video on the topic of weight loss, because I think it does need to be addressed. I know that this is it's almost like a taboo subject at the moment within the intuitive eating world, that, you know, media has made us feel bad for wanting weight loss and intuitive eating. And me personally, I'm starting to challenge that belief myself. I personally feel that weight loss can be a healthy thing as well. And it should be a positive thing, that you are transforming your body and becoming a version of yourself that you are proud of and that you feel good around. And I don't believe personally, and like I said, I know there's going to be a lot of people that might disagree with me here. Please don't shoot the messenger. I'm just sharing my own opinion, that if you're not happy within your body and, you know, you do want to lose a couple of pounds or whatever to feel a bit more confident within yourself, I think that is totally acceptable. I think really we need to question everything that we see within the media and social media especially, that, because how I've sort of taken it on and it's been portrayed is that intuitive eating, if you want to have a healthy relationship with food, you've got to cut all ties with weight loss. Like, that has got to be forgotten about. To an extent, it's a good thing when we feel good about ourselves. However, I do think that there is somewhat of a limit to go by, and when it starts to become unhealthy, then that's obviously when things need to be questioned. But I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I hope this has kind of helped in some way. If you have any questions about this, or you've got any other videos that you want me to film, please comment down below and post them in the comments. I will reply to any of them. And also, if you are struggling with binge and emotional or overeating, I do have a free downloadable guide that I've created, which I will link in the description box below. So be sure to check that out if that's something that you're interested in. As well as that, I've also got a free private Facebook group which I sort of share stories and inspiration and teachings on there as well. So again, if that's something that you're interested in, click the link and join our Facebook group. And of course, follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope it's helped in some way. Be sure to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!